We 7 minutes late.
That's your fault. We like,
It's not my. Whoa, we're on. Hey, we're live. It's not
oh,
my.
we're like, hey, hey, spirit fingers.
Hey, everybody. Sorry we're late. It's El Teddy's fault. Um, as most of you guys know, El Teddy and I have a separate channel called the Teacher Project 2.0 that, we come to you guys with all things dealing with matters of education as it relates to Abby says, "Wow." As it relates to coming from African American perspective and an LGBTQIA point of view, and so we've been doing it for about a year now, and we've been okay with the progress that the channel has been making because neither one of us started it for the purposes of becoming, we're gonna have 1 million subscribers. But what we did want to do is do some crossovers to try to, bring you guys into it, have you guys subscribe and come on over and join us sometime over on the Teacher Project. So El Teddy, he hosted last week the crossover event. And so this week I will be hosting the crossover event. And we are coming to you a little early today for a couple of reasons. One, because we are doing the crossover, so it's going to probably be a little bit longer than normal because the first hour is going to be the Teacher Project 2.0, and then we're going to just roll right on into the normal live that we do. But also at 8 o'clock tonight, this night, the night of tonight, Queen Sugar makes his triumphant return. And I'm going to tell you where I will be is late. I will not be late, okay? I might have been late for this live, but I will not be late for the Queen Sugar return. So first of all, I'm going to ask everyone, thank you so much for everybody being here. I really appreciate it. As you can see, the little ticker at the bottom of the screen has all of the email and our IG. But if you are not subscribed to the Teacher Project 2.0, Abby, you're in here. Do you mind? What's up, Star? Hey, boo. Do you mind dropping the link so those of you who are not subscribed to the Teacher Project 2.0 can go ahead and subscribe? And so we have a few little stories to bring out today as it relates to all things dealing with education. We're going to keep it a little light and fun today. But first of all, El Teddy has some, the CDC guidelines have been released as it relates to school reopenings. And what I normally do is put the links when we discuss different things. So I'll add this link later because I didn't have it in front of me, but I will add this link later. So El Teddy, did you want to share some of the CDC guidelines with the people?
Okay. I'll do. Hold on, give me a moment. Let me.
What kind of water is that? What is that?
It's alkaline pH.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Water.
Oh, shoot.
They were like $4 at my favorite store. They were $10 for a dollar for a whole liter.
And we know what store that was. If y'all don't know what his favorite store is, then you clearly
even though I'm supposed to be boycotting. Even though I'm supposed to be boycotting,
yeah, hey boo.
All right. So
you know what? I love Belize. Belize said, if you watch any YouTube series with bad grammar, you should be subscribed to the Teacher Project.
Well, let me do this also because we may have individuals who are new to the Teacher Project 2.0. They may not be new to our channel, but they may not know our background in education, and they might be like, who are these random people and why are they randomly talking about education? I mean, what?
No, that's valid. No, that's valid. That's valid.
ReallyB is a phenomenal and storied teacher, professional educator of many years. Matriculating through
one too many, sir.
Matriculating through many districts and school systems within the DMV area, and wearing many hats, multiple hats, a woman of various credentials, plural, and multiple degrees on the bachelor levels and the master's level.
Yeah.
Um, she has been everything from an administrator to a grade level chairperson, teacher, in charge with many of things that she has been in charge with. Um, the list could go on and on and on and on, but she is, for lack of a better term, an aficionado. She does have expertise within the realm of education, and that is why she is definitely, um, you know, most capable of tackling anything surrounding the work of education. And so I just wanted to put that out there so that people
Well,
know.
thank you so much.
As we talk about the CDC guidelines, there are some things that they said. Now, here are some things that is pretty consistent, and we could discuss these things really be. Here are the quote unquote essential elements of safe K through 12 school operations for in-person learning. CDC has developed guidance for mitigation strategies that K through 12 school administrators could use to help protect students, teachers, staff, and slow the spread of COVID-19. If mitigation strategies are strictly adhered to, K through 12 schools can safely open for in-person instruction and remain open. In addition, the association between COVID-19 incidents and outbreaks in school settings and levels of community transmission underscores the importance of controlling disease spread in the community to protect teachers, staff, and students in schools. This document provides an operational strategy for safe delivery of in-person instruction in K-12 schools through the integration of a package of mitigation and control components. Here are the components. I ain't gonna read the whole package. One, consistent implementation of layered mitigation strategies to reduce SARS-CoV-2 transmission in schools. That's COVID. Two, indicators of community transmission to reflect levels of community risk. And three, phased mitigation and learning modes based on levels of community transmission. That's a whole lot of jargon right there. But some of the things specifically that they're talking about when they talk about mitigation, they are recommending, let me get that, because I don't want to misquote the people. Universal and correct use of masks, physical distancing to be no less than um, 6 feet apart. Well, actually, when they say universal and correct use of masks, they say that it should be required at all levels in K through 12. For the physical distancing, they're saying at least 6 feet should be maximized to the greatest extent possible. In hybrid education, scheduling should be planned to ensure physical distancing, cleaning and maintaining healthy facilities, um, going and they outline some things dealing with federal disability laws that require for students with disabilities consistent with a student's IEP or 504 plan. So when you're talking about cleaning, the products that you can use for that, how many times you need to clean, the visibility and mobility of schools based on all of these things with regard to students with disability. And finally, contact tracing in combination with isolation and quarantine in collaboration with the health department, meaning as people get test positive and so forth, they would be quarantined and so forth. And anybody who's been in contact with that person would be quarantined as well. Um, and those are the main four things. There's a lot to unpack, especially with regard to, oh, I forgot, it's a fifth one, hand washing and respiratory etiquette. I forgot about that one. Hand washing and respiratory etiquette. Specifically really be that physical distancing and contact tracing is going to be a problem. Even something as what could be deemed as little as cleaning is a problem. There's money that's got to be involved.
The problem, one of the things, and I remember hearing President Biden saying that one of the things he wants to establish is a universal.
I did skip myself, huh? No, I was looking at the chat. I wasn't able to look at the chat while I was reading it. I skipped myself, but.
Well, we got you. We're gonna get you. I got you. I'll introduce you in a second. Let me get this thrown out before I forget, child. Before I forget. But the thing is this. I remember President Biden saying that he wanted to establish a universal, standard for masks, because as it stands right now, everybody's doing something different when it comes to masks. Some people have the cute little fashion masks. Some people have the N5 masks. Some of the N5 masks, people ain't changed their filter since they got the mask. Some of them got the bootleg. You know what I mean? Some of them are using the mask that the doctors use in the hospital. So one thing we need to do is we need to establish a universal. I mean, I know we're still dealing with the people who don't want to wear a mask. I ain't talking about them. But I mean, if we're talking about in school in a mandatory, then it needs to all be the same, so that, again, we're talking about the level, what is recommended. From the very beginning, none of us really know. We've heard, you read different articles, they contradict each other and all these different things. And so KN5, that's 95. That's what I'm thinking of. That's what I was thinking about. So I know that was one of the things that they were speaking of. And then when you start talking about, again, I've said this before, we've said this a million times, the school, the classroom numbers vary county to county, state to state, classroom to classroom. You're talking about 6 feet apart. Well, what does that look like? What size classroom? Because I mean, it's just it's just crazy. Yeah. Again, it's not that I don't want to go back to work. I want it to make sense. I want it to make sense.
Okay. First of all, while it may sound good, to me, it's just posturing. For the Biden administration, when they start to say things, we're going to put out this universal plan for school reopenings and for mask wearing and things like that, when they know full well there is no way of making sure that there's any implementation, because every state is sovereign in their ability and in their right to decide and determine how they are going to do that. And the state, and some states, as we've already read, have already said, we want no parts of masks. Matter of fact, I forgot, was it Iowa? It was one of the I states that said point blank, you're going back in person, whether or not you want to. And if you don't, you're going to face criminal charges through truancy and all types of other things. So while that may sound all well, fine, and dandy, they're still at the mercy of the governors of these respective states and the respective states board of educations or departments of educations that are around the state. With regard to some of the specific things that the CDC wants to see implemented, first of all, the physical contacting is virtually, even on an elementary level, to have 6 feet apart. An elementary classroom generally falls between the 12 on the smaller side, maybe 20 as you go to the larger size elementary classroom, somewhere in that age range. The size of a classroom, in order to have, let's say, 15 students 6 feet apart, would have to be way larger than what a classroom is. It's just not feasible. And there's not going to be a retrofitting of schools. There's not going to be these major updates to the facilities, because they can't pay for that as well, in order to facilitate that. So I think the CDC is going to have to come out with some other mitigation plan that says, okay, since y'all it's not feasible to do that, then perhaps they can say everybody needs to buy the acrylic dividers or whatever for every desk, or some mechanism with which you can have. And I've seen advertisements in different school districts that have talked about purchasing those types of things where they can have the acrylic protectors around the desks and things like that. Because other than that, there's no way you can tell me that you're going to facilitate in-person learning at 6 feet apart. Cannot happen. That is just not possible.
Yeah.
It would. And so the other thing that I wanted to mention was something as little as two other things: the contact tracing. This is schools. And some of the guidance that I looked at with the pictures of what the CDC is expecting was talking about students in the hallway walking 6 feet apart, students not, that I don't see that happening. And the other thing is, when you talk about contact tracing, you could talk about one student having COVID. That one student can have contact tracing with a whole wing of the school, with a whole wing, talking about hundreds of individuals within that respective contact tracing of that respective student. If they're in high school and they go to all 6 classes, and the process of going to those 6 classes, they got to pass through all of these different areas, breathe, touch, everything.
We know on a high school level, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Even in terms of cleaning, because most schools don't have that deep, thorough cleaning like that, except for a couple times a year, maybe once a quarter or something like that. They mainly do the sweeping, maybe a little spot mopping and things like that. And teachers are, pretty much keep the rest of their classroom together. But the level of deep cleaning that you're talking about, the purchasing of the cleaning products and materials, and having all hands on deck with which to do these things, you got to pay people to do this. You got to buy the supplies. It's a lot that goes. And then you're talking about doing this on a daily basis almost now. It's a lot more.
It's gonna be. Like I'm one of those teachers that wipe down my desk I wipe them down in the morning, before class starts. But okay, fine, I can wipe them down in the evening before I leave. But again, like that's the bare minimum of what should be happening in a classroom every day. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. Well, first of all, before I go any further, because I don't want to forget, El Teddy, thank you so much. You did such a great job of introducing me and giving my credentials. I want to let you guys know that my co-host is just as accomplished. El Teddy has taught on the middle school and high school levels, and he has now moved into adult education. I
forgot about all of my college teachers.
He's also moved into adult education. Well, he did adult classes before, but that's kind of where he is now. Holds multiple degrees, from bachelor's up to PhD of the D. So he is actually Dr. El Teddy. And he's worked on various levels, from teacher up to administrative type responsibilities as well, administration as well. So I say all that to say, I'm joking, but I'm serious. I say all that to say that, we're not just coming on here talking about education because, whatever. But, y'all know El Teddy old, so he's been teaching for like 40 years. So he definitely has the experience, that comes with that. So that's where we come from. And that's where our passion comes from, as well.
I'm not doing this with
you. That's it, Dr. Snacks. That's it. That's what we're gonna start calling you, Dr. Snacks. Dr. Snacks. That is actually.
See what kind of snacks I got next to me.
See, exactly. That is actually the perfect name for El Teddy. Because I promise y'all that boy pregnant. I promise you the boy pregnant. But yeah, so it's so that's where it's coming from, and that's where the desire to start this conversation came from, and the Teacher Project 2.0 came from. So yeah, but yeah, for myself, I know I was listening to Randy Weingarten. I think 3 days ago. Yes, El Teddy is. Yes, I'm not a doctor. El Teddy is though. Hopefully, especially if Biden go around forgiving student loans, honey, I'd definitely be in there getting my PhD. But yeah, one day hopefully I'll have it, or EDD, whatever. Anyway, he'll be back. Something happened to him. He'll be back. The shade and darkness going back and forth with the many in the 40 years. Exactly. I mean, he had to say many for me, so I had to throw it out there for him. I was listening to Randy Weingarten. I think it was like 2 days ago on MSNBC, and for those who don't know who Randy Weingarten is, she's the president of American Federation for Teachers. It's the second largest teachers union in the country, only second to the NEA. And excuse me, it's not a he. Randy Weingarten is a she. She was speaking about, again, not having a problem with schools opening, obviously not being opposed to schools safely opening, but her concern and the concern of the AFT was about the inconsistencies as it related to teachers being able to get the vaccine. So, for example, here in the District of Columbia, the mayor made it a priority for teachers to get the vaccine. They got their second. All those who wanted to get the vaccine were able to get the shot. Teachers went, DC went, schools opened back up about 2 weeks ago, I think. Where we had that snow, maybe 2 weeks ago. And then yesterday, schools were closed for President's Day, but teachers were getting their second shots, the ones who got the first shot already. And so you had the mayor of DC making it a priority, saying, yes, we're going to open schools back up, but we want to make sure that all teachers who would like to have the vaccine get it. And there literally was lines down the street for teachers to get their second shot. But yeah.
Did we talk about it when we did the crossover on my channel, or did we talk about it at all, or was that something we talked about on the phone when I told you about that county in Georgia?
We talked about it on the phone. I was actually going to throw it to you because we talked about it on the phone. So yeah, I was actually going to throw it to you because that was on the phone. Well, you might have said it, but I don't remember you saying it. I remember us being on the phone though. But then she used the governor of Florida, and we already know that Florida be doing its own thing. But she also talked about the governor of California as well, not making it a priority and not deeming teachers as on the level of frontline workers, and teachers not getting the preference. And so, El Teddy, you can tell them the story what you're talking about. Right. I'm sorry, Quintessential. Don't mention no snow, girl. Go ahead, El Teddy.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the county is Elbert County. In Elbert County, Georgia, which is a rural county, in Georgia, there was a facility that was giving out the vaccine. Now, Georgia is under Plan 1A or Phase 1A, which is supposedly for seniors or people at the top tier of pre-existing conditions as delineated by their medical professionals. However, there was a county, Elbert County in Georgia, that was doing that. They were following that, but they had leased out and purchased a larger facility to facilitate giving out more tests to more people because not enough people was coming and using the vaccines that they had. So they opened it up to all of the teachers and school board personnel in that area because they knew that they were about to go back to in-person teaching. And so they said, let us go ahead and vaccinate those teachers and school employees and personnel so that they can be vaccinated before schools are reopened. The governor of Georgia and the Georgia Department of Health went into Elbert County and snatched up every vaccine that facility had and that county had, and said, what you're not going to do, you're not going to be giving vaccines to people who we didn't tell you to give vaccines to, even though they need it, even though they want it, even though they probably should have it, because you're forcing them back into in-person instruction. The great state of Georgia said, no, we won't have any of that. We won't have any of that. And so they decided, they took that medical facility's vaccine. They came in and snatched them.
Wow.
They had the facility had even went as far as to purchase freezers and coolers so that they could house the Pfizer vaccine and so forth when they got leased out the new facility and everything. And it was going well. A lot of teachers, as well as people 65 and older, were going there to get vaccinated. And the state of Georgia said absolutely not. And so one of the concerns that they have is some of those people had only gotten the first vaccine. And so they're now, in question as to, okay, what about all of these people who still need the second dose of the vaccine? It's a mess. It's a whole mess. Yeah. And that's why I said from the beginning, you have the Biden administration saying that they would like this to happen, but that's where it stops. That's what you would like to happen. These governors have proven and said that they are in no way, shape, form, or fashion trying to do anything the Biden administration pushes out there, especially if they're a GOP governor. And that goes for K through 12 education and respective boards of education in those respective states. And I'm afraid for the education field, because you have people playing politics with people's lives. And I want to say, in terms of education, we make a lot of we say a lot of things, and we definitely don't want to diminish the importance of education. But there have been two things that I can remember that is talking about education and playing with people's lives, and that's one, the whole gun situation with schools. That was the first moment of exigence that we had when we started to have this cavalcade of school shootings and things like that. And now we're at a second moment of exigence within the education field, where now we're in a situation that is life-threatening for many people. And we have people playing politics with the lives of not just the employees, but even the students. You're playing politics with people's lives, and you just don't care.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Mother of Cats, for becoming a member. Mwah, mwah. Thank you so much. A couple of interesting comments while you were talking, El Teddy. One, Danny said the same thing happened to her. I don't want to give away where she lives, but she said the same thing happened where she lives, where the hospitals there was one of the hospitals lost their ability to give out the vaccine because they lied and they were vaccinating teachers there before they were supposed to. So that's happening.
And that's not a red state. I'm not going to say what state.
No, that's not a red state where Danny is. That's not a red state. So I'm not going to tell you what state that she lives in, but it is definitely a very blue state. Mm-hmm. And then that's what I was going to read the comment by Bat, where she was saying they're rolling out vaccines for teachers in Kansas. Our governor is a Democrat. Missouri and its Republican governor says its teachers might have to wait for months. So it's not always a down political lines, but it does look like in some cases it is falling under that umbrella somewhat. Yeah, so it's again, somebody asked me, am I going to take the vaccine? I do not intend to take the vaccine right now. I may take it in the fall before we go back to school in the fall, but where I am right now, for medical reasons and things like that, I won't be taking it right now. But I definitely, now my county has made it available. They actually started, the vaccine started Sunday. The places where you could get it for teachers, they started it on Sunday. So teachers, I think my county is going to actually go back before school is over. I'm not sure what that's going to look like. I don't know what it's going to be, but I think they're doing everything in their power to open up schools before the end of the year. It's going to be hybrid. I'm sure I will keep you guys updated. When I find out, y'all will find out as far as the plan and what that plan is going to look like. But they are definitely pushing for us to go back to work before school is over this year. So it'll be interesting, especially considering that we are almost halfway through third quarter, but whatever. Well, not almost halfway through. Well, no, we're about 3 weeks in the third quarter. So almost halfway through third quarter. Yeah. Anyway, so the other thing, the rest of the hour is going to be a little light, y'all. This is Black History Month, so I did want to bring an article to you guys, and let's have a conversation a little bit about HBCUs. There was an article that I saw, and this isn't the article I was looking for, but it's along the same line. But it was about the impact of historical Black colleges and universities, and there's been a reemergence of HBCUs for a couple of reasons. One, with the whole Black Lives Matter movement this summer, you have a reemergence of that pride, I guess, for lack of a better word. That's not to say that people weren't proud before, but, you had that whole Black Lives Matter movement and that whole, just that whole reconnection this summer. And so HBCUs have seen an increase in applications. So that's been a good thing. The other thing is they're talking about the reemergence of the impact of HBCUs when it comes to the political stage this year. We have Stacey Abrams, who is a graduate of Spelman. We have Kamala Harris, vice president, a graduate of Howard University. And so, again, these when you see in this, the article just speaks on that. I'm gonna just read a little bit. I'm not reading the whole thing, but the nation's 107 HBCUs make up just 3% of 2- and 4-year colleges, yet they award 17% of all bachelor's degrees earned by Black students. That's according to American Council on Education. Reverend Rashad Raymond, Lord, believes there's no coincidence that all of these game changers, these great leaders, this new generation of politicians come out of HBCUs. And we can continue to go down the line of some other names that'll pop up that come out of HBCUs. Nicole Barnwell attended Hampton, stating, "I wanted to go to school with students who looked like me. I'm an activist, and I know that Clark is known for leaders of social change," said Kaba, who an activist out of Clark University. So when we talk about the emergence of, and the article goes on to just talk about the impact of HBCUs. And so there's a great documentary that came on PBS about 3 years ago called Tell Them We Are Rising. You can find it on Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, it is free on Amazon Prime. It is called Tell Them We Are Rising. And it's a documentary that starts with the Civil Rights Reconstruction, Civil War Reconstruction era, and it brings us to present day HBCUs, and it just talked about the history of HBCUs and the rise and fall, so to speak, of HBCUs. And so when we think about HBCUs of the 1920s, 1930s, 40s, even going into the 1960s, a lot of your civil rights movement as it relates to the student level started at a lot of HBCUs. Fisk, North Carolina A&T, Bennett College, Winston-Salem State, the list can go on and on and on, where a lot of these were the pioneers of SNCC and a lot of these other organizations. And I think it's important for us to understand the impact of it. El Teddy, I know you have an experience from both points of view because you were very active with the Marching 100. And so you have, and I know you took classes over there, so you have that experience, but you also went to a PWI. So I don't know if you want to speak to your vantage point, sir. Are you done with your snacks?
I didn't want to crunch and stuff all on.
No, I appreciate you weren't crunching and stuff, but I'm just saying, are you done with your snacks, or do you need a few more minutes? I can keep talking.
I can do two things at once, anyway. Anyway,
that's a
what
good
what I will say is important because a lot of times, especially amongst Blacks who going to college, there does start to be that conversation or the debate between HBCU, PWI, this, that, and the third. When we look at all of these greats and all of the lauded people who have come, to terms with being a part of the history of what it is to be a Black person in America, they all share one thing in common. Yes, they went to a HBCU, but all of them also went to a PWI. And it's not like, that's
true.
where the story ended. And so
That's true.
I think it's important to celebrate, everything that is involved with that, with these people, because not only did they say, okay, we are going to embrace who we are in our culture, but we're also going to go over there and show you people what we can do. We're also going to show you, because see, what happens is a lot of times, and this is something that's mentioned in Queen Sugar, that was talked about at the end of last season when Michael was deciding where he wanted to go to school. And if you remember, his mom said, because he got accepted, I believe, to Harvard, his mom made the statement, I wanted him to go there so he could have those credentials, because if you're not in the room where decisions are being made, or you don't have the things that give you access to the room where things are being made and happening, then you're starting 2 steps back. Now you got to keep knocking on the door and say, can I get in? Can I get in? Whereas, so that's a whole conversation and debate that we're not going to go down that road. But having been to both and having had that experience of understanding both, I think that it is important for us to definitely celebrate our historically Black colleges and universities, because they would, they, and who they are, would love to diminish what they are, not just to Black people, but what they have meant to the fabric of this country. And they also want to diminish the level of education that goes on at these prestigious colleges and universities. But then they want to over inflate the some of these other schools. And we'll use some of these Ivy Leagues, for example, the Yales, the Harvards, Princetons. A lot of those students get in on things like legacy clauses, what your family bought for the university, because for all types of things that are less than academic and scholarly merits. And they let these people who look like this and not like this in for those reasons. But then they want to make, and because of their storied histories, they want to inflate who they are, but then they want to deflate and disrespect and make an HBCU look inferior, when in all actuality, when you put alum versus alum, what are we talking about? You can be met alum for alum and their greatness. And if we really want to go there, we're going to talk about how there's been the stealing and the downright horrible attempt at imitation and duplication of everything that people like this have done by the people like this. But y'all want to herald those people when it all started. Well, let me shut up. Go ahead, really, because I get on these tirades and I.
Well, I want to say I'm definitely one of those people. I mean, my undergrad, y'all know how much I love my Bennett College. Y'all know I love my Bennett College, but my 2 master's degrees did come from a PWI. So, I mean, I'm one of those people, that went to, I'll be honest, when I was looking at PhD programs, all of the schools I was looking at were HBCUs in this area. So I looked at Morgan, I looked at Bowie, I looked at Howard. Not that I was close to going,
Coppin State?
I did Coppin. Coppin is HBCU and it's in Baltimore. But the programs that I was looking at, they had them at Bowie, Howard, and you know what I'm saying? I wasn't looking at the school specifically. I was looking for the program I was looking at, and I was looking for, and other things, other factors. So, but when you look at once upon a time, when you came across Black professionals up until the late 1960s, early 1970s, the majority of them came from an HBCU. Your doctor, your lawyer, your teacher, whatever, they came from an HBCU because the majority of them couldn't get into the PWI. And so there was a large community and a large love of HBCUs because everybody within the Black community that moved in those circles, they all they all moved. And again, not every single person. We know that Black people went to PWIs even before the 1970s, but the majority, the vast majority, went to these, and even if they went on to go for graduate programs at PWIs, their undergrad for a lot of them were at the HBCU. So, we saw a surge in the 1990s because of a different world. And now it looks like we're going to see another surge over the next year or so because of the whole Black Lives Matter movement and stuff. So,
one of the things that I want to talk about with regard to the PWI experience that gets lost in the shuffle. When you talk to a lot of Black students who went to a PWI, and like I said, I've seen both sides. There is this major camaraderie of the Black students there because of necessity and needs. And when I went to college, and I started college late 90s into the early 2000s, I thought, and ReallyB had already been teaching 20 years at that point, but I thought that a lot of the racial and social injustices that Black people face, maybe in school was past. And so I remember being at a PWI and some of the things that were done and said, and the closeness of the community of Black people at my PWI. We knew each other. We protected each other. We were really, really close. Whereas when we would go to the HBCU, which was right across the track, everybody just was on their own page. Everybody was like, okay, you over here, I'm over there. We could just, do what we want. And a lot, I noticed that, especially with them, there's a lot more of the that closeness once they become alumni, and there's much more of that camaraderie and fineness and esprit de corps amongst the alumni, as opposed to maybe while in school, because there's just not that necessity that there is while on campus.
Yeah. So there was that. So let's switch gears for a quick second. I saw this myself as I was scrolling yesterday, and then Quintessential did send this to me as well. So I want to give her credit because, y'all send me stuff, honey, and I try to give y'all credit when y'all send it to me. So there was an AP history class, and the teacher was teaching about slavery. And the teacher made some comments as it relates to slavery. So I'm going to let you guys listen to this clip, and then we can talk about what you heard in the clip. Hold on, let me see if I can turn this up.
Crack the slaves with the...
They wouldn't do that to slaves.
How do you know? Were you there? Me? How do you know?
So the student was recording his teacher.
For a kick you out.
How? For why?
You want to have an honest conversation? Let's have an honest conversation. Don't give me the ha he he ho. Let's have an honest conversation.
Okay.
That's what I want. That's what we're here in AP for. If I call somebody the N-word, what am I calling them?
The N-word?
No. Ignorant? Yeah, ignorant. The N-word just means ignorant. It doesn't have any other meaning and any other vocabulary other than you are a stupid person. You are ignorant. You are not well read. You are not well educated. That's what it means. I laugh because on the Florida boy down here, where we came up with the term Florida cracker. Well, everyone thinks Florida crackers like white people do what?
They would crack the slaves with the...
They wouldn't
the whip.
do that to slaves.
How do you know? Were you there?
So I don't know if you guys could hear that clearly, but the student was recording his teacher. So clearly the teacher had said some ignorant stuff already for the student to feel the need to turn his camera on and record the teacher. I mean, we know students do it all the time, but so the teacher was speaking about the word Florida cracker or the term Florida cracker, and another student who sounded white. I didn't see the student, but who right. You saw El Teddy's face. And so, okay, then y'all clearly heard it because y'all are making comments. And so the first thing was that the teacher was trying to say that slave owners did not whoop the slaves. They wouldn't do that. And the student says to the teacher, "Why were you there?" Now, granted, as a teacher, that was a very smart, eloquently, whatever comment. But in this case, I was here for the teacher. I was here for the student making the comment. Okay. Then it sounds like there was a different clip, maybe spliced together, where the teacher went on to talk about the N-word not meaning anything other than an ignorant, uneducated person. This is an AP. Jonathan, what did I tell you about that yesterday? Now, look, I done told you about that. Don't come in here speaking to Abby before you speak to me. Now, we don't play them games.
Let me speak to the AP part of it.
Go ahead, El Teddy.
As an AP teacher for many years, as a district person,
I'm AP U.S. History certified, but
as a district personnel in charge with the curriculum for several, AP, courses to teach the AP teachers how to teach AP. One of the things that I will say about an AP teacher, you look for. You definitely looking for the teacher when you start to go down the road of APUSH, AP US History, AP Human Geography, AP English, or AP Lit, English Lang or English Lit. You do want those teachers that can and will push the envelope in terms of the instructions, in terms of the curriculum, in terms of what they will present to their students. However, there becomes a fine line in pushing the envelope and then just being outright, I hate to use certain words, but just being outright wrong in some of the things that you are saying and pushing narratives that proliferate horrible stereotypes and notions within this community of ours. What he was saying as an AP US, was it AP US History? I don't know what AP was.
No, I'm telling you, it was AP US History.
It was
yes.
I think that is a part. If you think that is a part of the small, that's the norm in a lot of places. What he was saying. Please also, and I talked about this, if you remember, really be on my live one time, with the counter to the 1619 project, many states within this country are now pushing curriculum in history classes that is saying that slavery either one did not happen. They're either conclusively not even addressing slavery, or they are making slavery as if it wasn't what it was. Or they're saying that if you do talk about slavery and those people and agents and avenues that do really talk about what happened and what this country really did, they're being called unpatriotic. And now there's this push toward patriotic American history as opposed to telling the real history. So as incendiary as that sounds, what we need to understand is there is legislation being passed by administrations in many states across the country that is pushing this. They are adopting textbooks that preach things like this. And so we really have to be careful when we start. I'm glad almost that the student recorded it, but imagine if had he not recorded it.
Yeah.
And in most cases, there is no recording, and a student that is of color has to sit there and listen to this type of foolishness.
And that's why I said, now, like I said, El Teddy, like I know, yes, students are on their phones all the time, and yes, students are constantly on FaceTime and stuff like that. But for the student to be recording himself, it almost makes me think that maybe this teacher has made comments and the student was like, oh, I need to get this on tape because ain't nobody gonna believe me if I tell them X, Y, and Z. And I know that you're right. AP pushes that out of the box, pushing students' comprehension to that limit digging deeper. But yeah, some things you're just sitting there like, are you serious right now, sir? And even the attitude, and somebody said, was that a black teacher? No, that was a white teacher. He was white. Jonathan had a good question. Do I think that anything related to Black history should only be taught by? Do I think white people should be able to teach it? I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I worked with a white guy who taught African American literature, and he taught the hell out of it. He was good at what he did. He was great. Now, can he relate the Black experience the same way? No. I mean, no. But do I think that people should be like that? White people should be totally excluded from teaching at all those topics? No, I don't think so.
I think that would be negligent to say that too, because a lot of times when I get to, I've had students that have come to me in 10th or 11th grade, and I am the first Black male teacher they have had in the entirety of their K through 12 education. The first. And I'm talking about the white kids, the Black kids. And so if we leave it to that, then that's going to be another way, agent, and avenue for people to explain why it wasn't taught. Because then they'll find a way to push kids out of the Black teacher's class so as not to, because a white parent might say, oh, make sure my child don't sign up for that teacher, because then they don't have to have no Black history. You see what I'm saying? There'll be that selection process. And then too, it sounds okay, but when Jewish History Month comes, you don't see none of them saying, oh, only Jewish people can teach this. Hispanic Heritage Month, you don't see that women's history. And I don't think that I'm not going to say it never diminish it, but there can be worthwhile teaching of a specific type of history from someone outside of that particular group.
I mean, I've had students who learned more about the Holocaust from me, and they've had Jewish history teachers, but they still, and that doesn't mean that I understand the Jewish experience. But when we're talking about teaching the history of it doesn't mean that you're not qualified just because you are not of that history. And it doesn't mean you have the same qualifications that I have, so.
And I think part of it is too, you can, as a human being and as a person, you should be able to take yourself out of just being yourself, and as a human being, understand the human experience. And while you can study, research, and learn what a particular group may have suffered and going through and so forth, and be able to, that's what us as professional educators do. Just like an actor will go and study a person and study a role and embody that role and be able to perform that in front of an audience, so much so that they, the great ones make you believe that they have pretty much embodied that particular role. In the same vein as professional educators, a lot of times we are asked to, especially my history teachers, I know they do it a lot, where they are really charged with helping just a regular person understand what was going on without having been there, without having experienced it, being able to take on the feelings and emotions and the tenor and timbre of the atmosphere during that time period, and allowing a student to experience that through instruction. So that's all a part of the profession and what we are, charged with doing as teachers within the respective fields. That doesn't mean that you have to, do buffoonery like you see some white teachers out here getting braids and Bantu knots and
you don't have to
take classes, stupidness. You don't have to talk, and you try to talk slang and stuff like that. You don't have to do that. And that's the first thing I always me and really be talking about that. When I've had, some white teachers try to instruct on Black history or even do Black poetry, which sometimes does have the slang and things like that, I say, you don't have to insult the intelligence of the student. They know. No,
at all.
You are.
Okay, so we're going to end this hour on a fun note. We kind of went a little, I thought El Teddy was going to explode for a second.
I brought it down. I brought it down.
I sort of, yeah, I had to triage him a little bit before we started. I had to tell him he didn't hear the recording, but I told him what the teacher said. I think hearing the recording though might have been a trigger. All right, you guys. So y'all know that I have found this wonderful world of teachers of TikTok. Okay, so there's this teacher on TikTok that has been posting the absurd things that parents ask teachers to do. So I'm just gonna play, and he's up to part 5. I'm gonna play you part 1 because I think it's just like with sequels, the first one is always the best and the most authentic. So I'm gonna play you. Now these are real emails or letters or whatever that parents have sent to teachers asking them to do these things. I want y'all to hear the ridiculousness that we deal with as teachers. All right, let me play it for y'all.
I have something for you today. I came across this collection of screenshots where parents are asking teachers to do things for their kid. It's insanity. I can't wait to share these with you. Probably gonna be multiple parts. There's just so much to share. Please stop writing on the board with your left hand. It confuses my right-handed child. Oh my God. Get over yourself. My son gets triggered by the color pink for any reason. Please avoid using this in your classroom. Avoiding a color entirely? No, so deal with it. I need you to take a moment and clear my son's nose out before he has his picture taken today. Understandable, but he can blow his own nose. You really shouldn't have gotten pregnant if it was going to interfere with your teaching. You should have planned better. Teachers can't have kids now? What's wrong with you? My child did the essay in his head and he should get credit for that. I'll tell you what, I graded it in my head. He got 0 points.
So that was the first one. Again, he has 5 parts. We'll play different parts, in other episodes. But you guys, the reality is, El Teddy and myself, we're not shocked by any of those requests. The funny one to me was, can you stop writing with your left hand? My right-handed child gets...
Listen, that's just like I did an experiment in my class because there was the whole parent gave me all red, all highlighted, all bold, all caps email saying that my red corrections as a English teacher makes their child sad and makes their child feel like they're not a good writer. So I said, I'm going to try a little thing. I switched it to green. Don't you know, 2 months later, the green writing that you put on my child's work makes them feel so. I say, ma'am, it could have been any color. Your child's not a good writer. Your child needs correction. Or the one that told me in an English class, well, you can't ask my child to read out loud. You just need to know that my child is capable of reading and reading well by them reading silently and being able to answer a question. And I said, so you never want me to literally hear them read out loud and be able to grade, assess, and judge their prosody? Because prosody is only attained orally, right? Auditorily, right? She was real upset about that. Or the mama who told, when we went on the out-of-town trip, for a 10th grader, handed me a thing of baby wipes and says, make sure that, because we was going to be traveling overnight, at that exactly this time, you give him, it was a specific number of baby wipes because he liked to suck his thumb when he went to sleep, and she had to make sure he wiped it off and so many times a night, because when he would roll over so many times a night, he needed to have it so many times with his blanket to suck his thumb and make sure nobody's sitting next to him, because he likes to have space and room wherever he is. So if you can't on the bus, have him seated by himself and everything. I was like, you need to drive him by yourself. Matter of fact, he's not going. How about that? He's not going, but we ain't doing all that. Just
right. How about you need to go with him? How about that? How about he can't go by himself? There's another one that said, please don't speak to my daughter when you're on your period. Not when, first of all, how you gonna tell somebody not to speak to somebody when they're on their period? But when you're on your period, please don't talk to my child. What? First of all,
okay, that's common. Really, B. I get emails and calls on the day that like the mom, my email, my daughter went on her period today, so she can't have her work.
I know, I've gotten those before. I'm talking about the parent emailed the teacher and said, "Don't talk to my child while you're on your period."
Oh, while the teacher's on her period.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was like, "Who? What?"
Even though my kid used to say I had a period.
My child started her period, and my child, when she's on her period, she's a little cranky. Da 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 da. Ma'am.
The whole don't talk to her, don't say nothing to her, don't do nothing to her. I said, ma'am, you might want to keep. My response is, you might want to keep your daughter home.
Keep them home.
If she comes in here,
I've actually said that to parents, like, you might want to keep her home.
She's going to be subject to the same rules, policies, and procedures as everybody else, unless she has an IEP or a 504. Other than that, we ain't making those accommodations. No, we're not doing that.
We're not doing none of that. All right, y'all. So let's switch gears. So that was the teacher project. Once again, mods, can y'all drop the link? There are 64 people in the room. If you are not subscribed to the Teacher Project 2.0, please come on over. This is the kind of conversations we have all the time over there. We have a little bit of fun. Oh, go ahead.
Also on the Teacher Project 2.0, we definitely have these conversations, but we are filled with a lot of resources and things that you could use as a parent. And we were doing that before children were doing virtual. We did it while children were having virtual, and we will continue to do it even after they go back in school, because the 9 to 5 or the 7 to 3 that your child is at school is not enough for true instruction to take place and learning to take place. So we're always providing resources, not just to parents and students, but also to other teachers. So if you know someone who's a teacher, a professional educator, an administrator, someone in the education field, we also supply resources for those individuals as well. Or between ReallyB and I, we have a bevy of resources, damn near limitless, in just about any subject area you can think of. So not just for the parents and students, but for our fellow colleagues and professional educators and administrators as well.
Okay, just give her a pampering. Absolutely. All right, so let's switch gears, you guys. Now we're going into our regular evening, live. El Teddy will be joining me. Abby, if you want the link, you can come on up and hang out with us. We don't have a whole lot to talk about because there ain't a whole lot going on. I know El Teddy already did politics over on his channel, but we'll do a little bit of that over here. But let's start with the silly and work our way up. So both of us review Love and Hip Hop Family Reunion. I saw a little bit of your review. I did not finish it because I got
FTFD moment.
I did, and we disagreed, but moving on. I didn't. We'll get there, but we'll get there. Okay. So for those who do not know, VH1, in an effort to bring us some sort of something while they get back, okay, Abby, while they get back to filming and getting back to their regular rotation of the Love and Hip Hop franchise, they've been giving us these little, buckets of whatever they could put together. And so we have Family Affair that's being shown right now. And then they're gonna do it looks like it's called Couples Retreat. Basically, it's a marriage boot camp. Love and Hip Hop version of marriage boot camp is what it looked like to me. So the Family Affair, it started last week. So this is the second episode. So you basically had the people from all of the franchises coming together and doing, family reunion type stuff. Last week we had a girls' night. We had a field day yesterday. And some of the stuff on there is, it is what it is. It's Love and Hip Hop, so it's produced. But some of the stuff on there I think is real stuff. I think it's some real shit. So the big thing last night was that they invited Erica Dixon to come through. Clearly, they didn't tell Scrappy and did not tell Bambi because Scrappy ain't that good of an actor. Scrappy was not here for none of it, okay? And he just ain't that good of an actor. So overall, El Teddy, how did you feel about the episode overall? We saw Scrappy talking.
It was a boring episode. It was a very lackluster episode yesterday. So I guess they needed that to give it a little because it was like blah for most of the episode. With Erica, first of all, Erica, you forgot how whacked out in the head Mama D is.
Yeah, Mama D is hell.
And you spent the first couple seasons that you were on this show at odds with Mama D.
Right.
And so when Mama D lobbed you whatever phone call she made and told you to bring yourself down to Arizona or wherever they are, you should have immediately said that might not be the best of ideas. Because anytime, or said, well, do Scrap and Bambi know that I'm coming? Because if you already told us that you and Scrap are not even talking, y'all only talk via text, how is that going to be a good idea for now y'all all of a sudden to try and have this talk? That's something, if you're really serious about it, you need to try and do off camera, because you know he's going to show his whole behind. He's going to show his whole ass when the cameras is on. You know you on this show.
We've talked about it before, but we can definitely revisit it and go over some things for the homeschooling. Absolutely.
I just think Erica served no purpose. She's really not friends with none of the people there. What was your purpose?
Abby, you look cute today, girl. Look at you.
Thank you. Erica came to get a check. She don't give a shit about none of the motherfuckers to talk about. Oh, y'all gonna pay me to come here and do nothing? I'll be there with bells on.
She got a secret popcorn coupon. Let's be clear.
Well, here's my thing about the situation. So, pretending for a minute that this real and it's not a show. Yes, Erica has done some nasty stuff to Scrappy in the past. They went back and forth. They were nasty to each other. But just like Bambi was like, girl, look, whatever we did is whatever we did. Whatever we said is whatever we said. But for the purposes of our family and moving forward, can we just be cool and move on? I feel like I can appreciate and respect Bambi for that. And I feel, because my thing is, Scrappy, let's not act like you ain't do shit to Erica. Yes, Erica did some shit to you. But sir, you did some shit to Erica. So for him to be sitting there acting like he don't understand, like she done so much to him, and how dare she here because of what she did? Like, you mad at her because she put you on child support, sir.
But y'all have a child together, and you irresponsible.
But my point is, I ain't even mad at that. I'm in agreement with all of that. My point is, Erica, you came on, and I know it was acting, posture, whatever you want, but you came on here like you really thought that there was going to be some mitigation or reconciliation or meeting of the minds that y'all were going to have. And you just told us we ain't talked in years. You know full well y'all only talk via text message. I'm going to be here. I'll be there on time, ... and that's it. You knew nothing was going to happen for it. So for you to come on there and acting like you surprised, mad, upset, broke down, busted, and disgusted because he didn't want to talk to you, you're reaching. You know.
I don't feel like she feels like any of that. She's like, I extended the olive branch. He gave Pete his ass to kiss once again. So I'm going to go on over here and smoke some hookah and have a drink.
That's not his first time knocking away her olive branch. He's been doing that for years. He ain't been shit.
Right, like how long is you gonna keep doing this though? How
exactly? That's my point. Why are you stretching out olive branches to somebody who ain't trying to reach and grab the olive branch? It's no way I would have went and talked to you for what? I'd be over here partying and drinking. I would have came there and told Mama D.
I mean, what we do,
partying and drinking.
My thing is this how I look at it. First of all, I agree with you with what you said, Lock Queen. I said that in my review. Ma'am, your daughter is 16. Y'all don't need to have another conversation ever. She got a cell phone. Y'all can communicate via her. Y'all don't there really is. I mean, there's no really good reason for this except to cause drama.
It's drama for the TV show. There's really no need for them to communicate at all. However, I really need Scrappy to know that you are acting like an infant.
He really is.
You're a grown ass man, and why are you acting like that?
He really was. And
first of all, I knew it was an issue because when he got mad at Mama D for repeating what he said to her. It's not like she pulled that shit out of her ass and was just making shit up. You got mad at your wife when y'all had a fight and you decided, I don't have to take this. I'm going home. And so you got an attitude and walked out talking about y'all gonna get a divorce. Then you went crying to your mama saying the same exact thing. Now you looking dumb in the face talking about why would she say that? Because you told her that, you stupid bastard.
And you know who your mama is. Like, my thing is sometimes.
And then you over-exaggerate and talk about, oh, we getting divorced. She said, I heard the divorce word was mentioned. She didn't say y'all went to no lawyers. She said that y'all is put some paperwork in. She said y'all mentioned the word.
First of all, Mama D was wrong for saying anything, period. I don't care if he told her or
absolutely
true, but they did put 10 on 20, and that's normally what she is anyway. But
because I ain't looking out for Mama D at all, because she ain't shit, and everything that she has done in the entirety of this show ain't been shit. But
her boobs look good though. That boob job came through.
The thing about it is, Mama D is out of order, and it's crap. Both of them ain't shit. Both of them ain't been doing shit, ain't about shit. So I think Bambi, you need not be surprised when this relationship ends poorly, because you saw some of his true feelings come out when he was talking to Jock. When he started talking about, well, I do all this for her and she don't treat me the same way. And he acts as if marriages and relationships are equal reciprocity. That's just not how marriages and relationships work. Sometimes the other person, for whatever you are going through, for whatever you're doing, has to give more than the other one. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I just didn't want to forget what I was going to say, because I agree with you 100%. But can we give a shout out to Jock for being on his grown man shit and telling Scrappy you being real selfish? Because y'all been married for 3 years. She's been pregnant twice. So for more than half of y'all marriage, she's been pregnant. You can't be mad at her because she's trying to figure out who she is now. First of all, she's just getting her body back. You know, and he didn't mean like snatch back. He mean like another person not living in her body. So
come on.
He was like, she's a mother now. She's a wife. Like, a lot has happened in 3 years to her that didn't happen to you. Like, yeah, you a daddy with 2 more kids, but it was all up. Like, she literally, and the second kid wasn't playing. Like, she literally was like, fuck, I can't keep food down. Fuck, I'm like, it wasn't playing. So I was like, go ahead, Jock, on your grown man, because that's a good friend. A good friend don't always tell you.
But the other thing about it is, what Bambi really needs to be worried of is Jock has never truly been that kind of father that has had the child in the home with him. And being a parent with the in-house child is very different from when the child just get dropped over there a couple of days or a couple of hours, and then they go back home to the main parent. And now you not have 1 but 2, and Bambi does as well. And so he wants it to be like it was before they got married or before they had a child. And it's never going to be that way.
It's never going to be the same.
That child leaves to go off and find their own house. So you got 18 to 20 years. Where it ain't gonna be that bad. So, and I don't think that he can deal with that. He's proven over the course of how we watched him.
He's a big spoiled child. He wants his way. And when he doesn't get his way, he sticks his hands in his fingers like, la, 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 I can't hear you, I can't hear you.
Which is what Mama D said, that he tends to, sweep things under the, when stuff he don't want to deal with, he sweeps it under the, and that's what she was saying about Erica. Again, taking away the fact that they filming the show, okay? But that's what she was saying about Erica. Like, listen, you can't pretend like she not there and she doesn't exist. She's still there. She still exists, and y'all got to figure this out. Now, granted, in reality, they don't, because the child is 16. They really don't. But that's where Mama D was coming from. Like,
it's always in the best interest, even no matter how old the child is. It's always in the best interest of the child for their parents to act like they got some fucking sense.
Well, that's true, but to sit there and act like you didn't, because that's the other thing. You mad at Erica because you act like Erica did something to you. Let's be clear. And P said this earlier. men act like child support is some sort of get back. No. Erica tried to work with you. Now, granted, part of it is because y'all was still sleeping together. I get that. But Erica did not take you for child support until that child was like 10, 11 years old. So that means that for 10 or 11 years, you got away with doing whatever it is you chose to do when you chose to do it. Yes, her reasoning for filing child support might have been on some get back. I don't know. But let's not act like she didn't have a right to do it. And
She's probably got tired of working at that call center and you not. Oh, was that a secret? Okay.
Wait, what call center? I didn't know.
Way back when they were together on this show, he would like take her car and drop her off at work, like she a vet from Baby Boy.
I was going to say you should.
And he would have her car all day while she was at work, dropping her off at the damn call center, and she working to pay all of these bills, and she would ask him for money, and he looking at her dumb in the face. Nigga, you a whole rapper. What the fuck? You walking around taking pictures of you calling the money with stacks of money in your hand, but your baby need new sneakers, and I'm struggling to keep the lights on at the house. What you mean?
Okay.
Get on my goddamn nerve. Okay.
Can
we just listen? Because I gotta find my hair tie if we gonna talk about Carly Rae and her daughter. Because I almost. That was
you was about to go down the whole road.
That took me right here. It took me right here.
Let you go ahead. You got it.
Listen.
I mean, I didn't really care about that. So tell me what you cared about.
Oh no, it was just the level of it took my breath when I was watching it. Y'all see it in my review. My review is recorded. I haven't uploaded it yet, but it's just a thing for me and my daughters. If I said to you, if we're out at a social function and I see you doing something crazy and I walk up to you and I'm trying not to embarrass you in front of your little funky ass friends, but if you want me to turn up, I most certainly the fuck will. And I say to you, come here, let me talk to you. And you tell me, leave me alone. This is grown folks' business. I am going to jail. Do you hear me?
Going to jail. If you sure going to jail.
I'm going to jail. I'm happily going to jail.
I tell my mama that all the time. Mama, I'm not gonna hit you, but baby, you will be going to jail.
And I'm gonna take that because what's good. Because first of all, I'm gonna figure out who you're talking to first. Because clearly I'm hallucinating, and surely you didn't say that to be your mother. This is grown folks' business. First of all, I am your ride to this occasion. Who the fuck is you? Who is you? Who are you talking to? What grown folks business? You ain't got no motherfucking grown folks business. Like I'm going to. That's because I'm a real mama who really took care of my kids. And when you were sick with the flu at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was up wiping up your vomit, cleaning your little stinking ass because you had diarrhea and all this other bullshit. And I have worked and sacrificed and gone with holes in my shoes to make sure that you had what you needed to have in this life for you to get somewhere out in public and treat me like you done lost your motherfucking mind. Bitch, I will knock you into the middle of next week. When you open your eyes, it'll be next Wednesday. Play with me if you want to. I don't play that little disrespectful shit just because you done got out here and you smelling your fucking self in this little boy's face. What is gonna happen is both your eyes gonna be swole shut and your lip gonna be busted. That's what the fuck is gonna happen. Talk about going, are you and grown folks? But bitch, I am you ain't got no business unless I give it to you. The fuck you think you talking to? Y'all can come back. I'm back.
You got that, sweetheart.
I did. I'm sorry, because that thing took me. I wish my kids would say some shit like that.
Wait a minute. That shouldn't have took you nowhere. You want to know why? Because everything you're explaining does not describe Carly Rae. Everything that you're saying
she didn't even raise her. She said that her mother didn't even really raise her. They were raised like
so. All the smoke that you talk about is not even applicable.
We were raised like sisters. So
she was right by telling Carly Rae, "Hey, boo, grown folks, it's grown folks over here."
First, can I just say that even with if my sister had rolled up on me and was like, "Come here, let me talk to you for a second," I'm not going to respond to her in that manner. My sister, who's 5 years older than me, I'm not gonna respond to her in that motherfucking manner. You know why? Because my sister is than I am. She's not even gonna talk. She's just gonna start swinging. The manner in which she spoke to her, I don't give a fuck if she raised her or not. Even if that was a stranger, it was disrespectful. I don't know who the fuck you talking to. You better get your words together, bitch. I will snatch a knothole in your ass. I don't know who girl.
Because people say that all the time. That's not uncommon when you see people having a conversation and you be like, child, this is grown folk. Leave me alone. Let me do what I got to do. And so I saw
I'm sorry, I was raised right. I would just never. I'm not like we out in public.
You've never said that to anybody.
Absolutely not.
Wow. I know people who do it all the time. You said some other things. You said
no, I don't know. Cause I just the way my mother raised me, like if I'm just not gonna be that like I'm not gonna be that disrespectful. Not like we out in front of people. Like if it's me and you in the room, it might go down.
You told me you will whoop somebody's ass out in public and put
that belongs to me. Absolutely. If they're being disrespectful to me, absolutely. Yes. But I'm telling you, Ebony is not going to be openly disrespectful to people. Now, if you give it to me, I am absolutely going to give it back to you. Doubly. In the great words of Funky Dineva, when you go low, I go to hell. That's what's going to happen. But you got to bring that energy to me. I'm going to match your energy. But I'm never going to start out that way. I'm going to start out real respectful because I'm very much a, hey, come here, let me holler at you right quick. And I'm going to take you in the corner. And I'm never going to embarrass anybody or be outwardly disrespectful to somebody that hasn't been disrespectful to me. I'm going to tap you on your shoulder and be like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? And I'm going to take you in the corner. Now, I might give you a quiet, good cussing out in that motherfucking corner, but ain't nobody going to know what I'm saying to you. Sure.
When you come polite, if that person says, no, you can't talk to me right now.
If they say no, and then I'll come back with, well, when you give a minute, come find me because I really need to talk to you. And I'm going to hold on to it until you come talk to me.
Okay. I just want to make sure this ain't going to be the part where you knock me into next week or something like that. Because I don't like being knocked in the next week since we knocking people, into other, time and spaces across the space-time continuum and all of those things. I just want to make sure so that I don't miss out on 6-7 days of my life that I can't get back. So, and so that I can know where I can tell your family to send the commissary and stuff like that.
Just know.
Baby,
I will text you my mama's number. I will text you my mama's contact information. She holding my bail money. The elder always got bail money for me because she knows her daughter. She knows it could go left at any time. This wouldn't be the first time she bailed me out. She know what to do. Bail bondsman.
I do have a bail bondsman on tap, but not for myself. I don't have any mug shots or anything of the such. I've never been arrested. Never seen the inside of. Well, I have seen it.
I'm just sorry. I'm sorry. That just hit me in a raw spot.
That I wish because Carly didn't hit me nothing. That didn't hit me no. I'm like, girl,
and it wasn't necessarily. It was just her tone of voice and how she responded to her when because Carly Red didn't come at her disrespectfully. She was like, "Hey, look, can I talk to you for a second?" And she got smart at the mouth with her.
I didn't see her coming at her like real time. She came at her like, girl, I said you can't go in there. That was the energy she came at her with.
Not originally, no. Not when she.
You ain't going in there because I don't want you to go in there. And now with the same energy, she came at her with you ain't gonna have your titties and ass all out. The same.
But she wasn't wrong. She wasn't wrong.
But that don't mean you get to dictate that either.
But she's still not wrong.
But
even if that's her friend, even if that's her friend, and I'm like you, so that's what you're gonna be with your ass and titties out. That's what we doing. That's my husband got my back. So go ahead, Loretta. Go ahead.
I just feel like I think we're not understanding how old her daughter is. Her daughter's not like 18, 17 years old. Her daughter's in her 20s. If she want to wear some booty cutter shorts and she's in her 20s.
You talking to a woman whose mother told her on her 43rd birthday, "You not grown, and I'll let you know when that happens."
And you allow that?
No, I understand that, Abby.
Allowed? He said allowed.
No, I understand that. What I'm saying is, I mean, let's be clear. My mother has told me when there have been times and stuff that she didn't particularly care what I had on one. They found a way to let me know if they don't like the way I'm wearing my hair or color lipstick I have. I mean, they tell me, but at the end of the day, that don't mean I'm about to go wipe it off.
And just like you say, there's a way that child communicates to that parent. There's absolutely a way that parent should communicate to that child, knowing that child is an adult and no longer subject to your reign of tyranny or to whatever you got going on or had going on in your household. They don't have to. And I can tell you, I've cut my mother off for years and said, no, we're not talking here. You are a new kid on the block. You won't get this.
Jonathan, you just agree with whatever Abby say. Boy, bye.
First of all, don't do.
Sorry, I do got to go. I apologize. I told you I had a.
You got to get ready to go. Well, I
got the 1 to 7.
You know I ain't gonna be on here too much longer because you know I got to get ready for Queen.
So I just want to say thank you for the experience. Thank y'all for having me. Go check out Teacher Project 2.0.
I want to say I like the hair on your face. Now you look like you're 24 instead of 12.
It's about to come off. Don't worry.
Hell.
You know,
lip gonna be naked in a minute. Okay. Well, I'm gonna enjoy it now while we at it.
You got about 24 good more hours.
Yeah, I said the same thing when he first came on camera. I said,
it's coming off. Don't worry.
Well, look, in my best Darren Fleet voice. Well, looky.
I'm done. Done.
All right, so I only have a few more things we're gonna hit on because again, the episode really didn't give me nothing. That was the biggest part of the episode for me was the Erica Dixon. I didn't even think the Carly Red thing was that big of a deal, but clearly,
I did. There's a whole section in my review. I had to flip the camera around so you can see my face because I was hot like fire, and you could tell when you've been actually raised by your parent and how your parent-child relationship dynamic is by how you react to as a parent, that hit me in a different spot with the tone in which she spoke to Carly Red, whether Carly Red raised her or not. You are talking to an adult. You are talking to an elder. Like, did you just tell that girl? Okay. It just hit me differently because I know if my 25-year-old or my soon-to-be 22-year-old did any such a thing, I would be raising Scooter Boot because his mama had gone on to glory.
I've gone on to glory. Okay. Well, okay. The disrespect she gave was enough. Jesus. Okay. Well, before I got on here, I saw this a few minutes before we came on here.
Mm-hmm.
Democratic congressman sues Trump over rolling Capitol riot. The House Homeland Security chairman accused Donald Trump in a federal lawsuit Tuesday of inciting the deadly insurrection at the U.S. Capitol and conspiring with his lawyer and extremist groups to try to prevent Congress from certifying the election results. The lawsuit from Democrat Republican Benny Thompson is part of an expected wave of litigation over the January 6th riot and is believed to be the first filed by a member of Congress. It seeks unspecified punitive damages. It also names as defendants Rudy Giuliani, the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers.
He said, I'm suing all these motherfuckers.
Yes. He said, all I wanted to do was my job, and the insurrection that occurred prevented me from it. And it goes on from there.
I know that's right. I was just here to clock in, do my job, and go the fuck home. And you bastards is playing games.
Count some ballots and go to hell home. That's all I came to do. Okay. I still had my New Year's hangover working. It was January the 6th, and I was still listening.
Wow. Listen.
I was still sipping on that good cognac I got for Christmas. Okay. I don't know why. I don't know what the problem was. Okay. The reality of the situation, and we had this conversation, we're going to see a lot of these. He does have a case, Jonathan.
He does. He absolutely has a case. Yes.
As a matter of fact, honestly, Trump is going to by the time all this is over with, Trump is going to probably wish he had just gotten impeached because, yes, he has a case. Because the reality is, even the Republicans who voted against conviction said he was guilty. They just wasn't going to vote for it because they said there was a technicality about the fact that he was no longer president. Forget the fact that he was impeached while he was still president. We ain't gonna go down that road. But yes, he absolutely has a case. Will he win? I don't know. But does he have a case? Absolutely he does. Is he gonna be the only one? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He is not gonna be the only
one. A lawsuit. I feel like I have PTSD from having to watch the insurrection happen.
When he was still president, I feel like the ACLU should file a lawsuit on behalf of the American people for his lack of responsibility.
For PTSD, we're all traumatized.
I know I the fuck got PTSD from that nigga. I know I got PTSD. I know I got PTSD from that mofo. I know I do.
Friend. Listen, I'm done with you. Listen, when you get off of here, I uploaded a video like a few minutes before y'all got on here. Your name may or may not be in the title of the video.
I already saw it. I haven't had a chance to look at the video yet, but I saw it. So Abby blamed me for going out. Well, she ain't go no damn where. For Oregon. I know you didn't. I know you didn't. You said I'd be suing if you so much as stub your toe during the rise. Listen,
I know that's right.
I'm here with you. I'm here for you on that one.
Yes, come on, Trump checks.
I know that's right. Like Nene be getting.
I want a Trump direct deposit. His check might bounce.
I'm about to say, yeah. I don't want no. Matter of fact, direct deposit it into my PayPal and let me switch it over to my bank account, so you can't even go back into my PayPal and do a reverse on it. No.
Right.
No, ma'am. Yeah, I anticipate a lot more of these happening. Honestly, you guys, I absolutely anticipate a lot more lawsuits happening. He is currently under investigation or suspected of under investigation. He's under investigation for 2 cases in New York, the Georgia case. Now he just got sued. So what we said, Danny, a cashier's check, child. So what we were saying before all of this happened, the election, that once it's over with, and even after the impeachment, we just waiting for the dominoes to fall, child. They're there. They're there. We're just waiting for the dominoes to fall, child.
You about to... We can't even sing that because he lost his job already.
Yeah, he did lose his job.
Somebody is going to jail. Period. I want him to go to jail. So I have never wanted somebody to be brought to justice so bad in my entire life.
I'm with you.
I feel like he should be charged like a war criminal for like war crimes and stuff. I feel like that's appropriate in his case. This nigga had a whole ass insurrection. And his doofy ass is walking around saying just incendiary shit. And about that teacher who was talking to that child crazy.
Uh-oh.
Let me say this. As a parent, when I say I would have been down to that school so fucking fast, because I know my kids, they would have sent, as soon as they finished recording it, they would have hit send and sent it to me. Before the bell ended on that class, I would have been down to the school. Did this motherfucker say the only definition to the N-word? That's the only thing it means. That's the only connotation that word carries. Is that what you're saying, sir? So you're lying. You're just gonna stand in front of these children and lie. Some of these children who have been called that word. That's what you're gonna do. That's what you're gonna do. You're just gonna tell a bold-faced lie. That's what we're doing. Okay. Well, all right. Well, I'm gonna need you. What time does school get out? 2:35? At 2:38, I need you to meet me over here in this parking lot, sir. Please and thank you. My hands are bisexual, so it does not matter that you are a man. Please meet me in the parking lot. Because I feel like you need a little hands-on education because you seem a little slow. Let me see if I can beat some sense into you.
Did you say your hands is bisexual?
I did.
Tonight on PBS, there's going to be a special on the Black church. I saw the advertisements for it, but you know, my mama reminded me, so I'm reminding y'all to make sure y'all check it out.
Okay. And also, what did I see? Did you see the LAPD was circling that fucking Valentine with George Floyd on it?
I saw that.
I hope the brakes go out on your cop car and you crash into a retaining wall at 80 miles an hour. Thank you.
Okay. All right, you guys, let me share this with you. Let me see. Does it come up on screen? Okay, there it is. Can y'all see that?
Yeah, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. So this Saturday, on Saturday, I will be interviewing Buffy and her husband, David Purcell. We will be speaking on all things, not just about Married to Medicine, but we will be speaking about financial literacy. We'll be speaking on her and her husband's challenges with infertility. And it's just going to be a good conversation. So please, you guys, I hope you can join me at 3:00 February for the conversation. I'm definitely looking forward to it. So I hope you guys can join me.
I just want to say yes for the sexy thirst trap picture in the top corner. I wasn't going to let you bypass me with like I didn't see that. Like I didn't see you.
Girl, you've seen the picture. Girl.
Daughter.
Yeah. Anyway.
Listen. Are you going to watch the couples? The couple retreat or whatever the fuck they're doing after the family reunion?
Probably.
Because I saw a commercial for it.
Probably. I mean, why not? It's all it is Love and Hip Hop's version of Marriage Boot Camp. Like, okay, I'll watch it. Why not?
Right. First of all, how did Michael Blackson get on there? He ain't been on no.
They just needed another couple show.
They had to have, because like I was so confused. I was like, one of these things is not like the other.
They needed a couple that was actually going to tell their business, because we already know that Rashida and Kirk ain't telling their real business. We know that Ray J and Princess ain't telling they real business. Like, they needed a couple that was going to tell their real business.
Okay, so here's my thing. Are you wondering why Ray J is at this Love and Hip Hop family reunion? And is he acting really, really weird, or is it just me?
Ray J is acting like, I'm here because y'all said y'all would cut me a nice check.
Because all he's doing is walking around with that fucking Hermes blanket wrapped around him. Like, okay.
He acts like he's scared to catch COVID, is what he act like. He like, I'm here, but I'm scared as hell. Because he keeps something wrapped around his mouth at all times. Like and I don't blame him. I ain't mad at him, but that's what it seems
like. That's
like.
because his mama told him he better, or he's going to get a beating when he get
out.
You know that lady with that wig, that same wig on since 1972, don't play.
Her and Mama Evelyn.
Listen, are you gonna do a premiere, or is it gonna be live?
It's gonna be live.
It's gonna be live. She's like, can you set a premiere? That's why I asked. It's not a pre-recorded. It's gonna be live.
Live interview. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
All right.
So, if you would like to, thank you. Somebody put in an Avon order earlier today or late last night. So thank you so much. Again, if you want to put in an Avon order, the link is still there. Niecy still ain't ordered nothing, but that's okay.
I'm done. Xavier, I've seen this Cinderella. Why would I watch it?
I've seen it. I've seen it.
We've seen it. You out?
You got her headphones on, so she didn't hear me. She don't hear. That's why she ain't come in here, because she didn't hear me talking.
You talking about her?
You know she can hear me from upstairs, but for whatever reason, she right there with her headphones on. She can't hear shit. Anyway.
Probably because she blasted some music. Speaking of music, Our Cat's Meow, aka his singing, the artist known as Pradia, has come out with a new EP called Enigma. It's available on all streaming platforms. Go get you a piece and do a little body roll while you listen to it. Because I listened to one song and my body immediately started. I said, oh.
Okay then. All right. I heard a little bit of it earlier when I was listening to you live. I have to download it on Friday.
Xavier, we know. We know, baby. We know.
We know it, baby. It's okay.
We know, boo. We know. We've seen it. We still have the same questions. How did a black man and a black woman and a white man have a Chinese son? We still ain't got the answer to that question 20 years later. We still want to know. Inquiry minds want to know. We do indeed are aware that black does indeed not crack because Brandy looks the exact same.
Brandy looks. And she did something with Todrick Hall for the anniversary.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it on TikTok, I think. And then I saw, because I'm subscribed to Todrick, so I saw.
Yeah, I'm subscribed. Yeah.
Yeah. Filipino, Asian, whatever. He did not. I know we have the Eve gene, and everything comes from us, but that's not exactly how that works.
I'm just saying. Anyway, let me get off of here, y'all. What nationality? Right, what nationality?
That is a good question, Miss Honey. Because Lord knows.
Okay. All right, y'all. Let me get off here so I can get my life together and be ready for Queen Sugar.
Yes, she has to be ready for Queen Sugar. I have to watch the flies of.
Thank you so much, Watermelon Sugar. Listen, y'all, YouTube is playing games with me because I swear I take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. Now, literally, earlier today, I was at 4,989 subscribers. I just looked a few minutes ago. I am at 4,986. How the fuck I lose 3 subscribers in 2 hours?
I don't know, but I felt that way too because I went to the app and it said 11:55, and then I went back and it said 11:49. What?
Right. I'm like, what?
I said, oh, see, y'all playing with people's emotions. Okay.
It's like right there. And then it's like somebody's pulling me back. It's like, no. I'm like, come on, man. Come on. Because I was like, because I had gotten up to 4,990. I said, okay, 10 more. Now I'm back in the 80s. I'm like, damn it. You know what? Can a sister just get 13 more subscribers? Okay.
Right.
I will stop begging.
15 to be on the safe side.
Begging like that. But I will stop begging if I could just get to 5,000. I've been looking at 5,000 for like the last 6 months, I feel like. It's just frustrating. It's frustrating. Yes. Anyway, that's enough of me whining. I will talk to y'all later. I will see y'all tomorrow. Mwah, mwah. Bye. Goodbye. You and the damn sound of